Hi friends, my name is Luke Barry and this is What's Wrong With Ya, a podcast that asks what the flip is wrong with ya, what's going on in your brain and how do we get it out into the world. And this is the first in my series of interviews that I'm going to be sticking out on the first Monday of every month. And this one features a friend of mine, Duane Doogan, and I think this is a perfect way to start for me because these interviews are aimed at me kind of trying to figure out my own mind through talking to other people, and I don't think there's a better way for me to do that than by talking to Duane. We are friends for 20 years this year. We know each other an awful long time. We've tried comedy together, we've tried comedy music together, we've tried stand-up. Duane is a professional comedian, he's a graphic designer, he's done an awful lot of stuff, had a really interesting life in terms of his graphic design work, in terms of his comedy work, done a lot of cool stuff, and we talk about all of it. We also talk about how our house burnt down when we were living in it. We talk about how that affected me, how that affected him, and it's really interesting for me to look back on. This podcast is meant to be my kind of, I suppose, mental health journey or whatever, kind of. So it was really interesting. I will look back on this interview and my body language shift when we start to talk about how that fire affected me is very noticeable. My body language completely changes and I become very nervous and thrown off on my questions towards Duane straight away afterwards. And I suppose it's probably important for me to say that the first massive anxiety attack that I remember suffering was directly after that fire. It was happening quite a bit afterwards, and anytime I heard a fire alarm for years afterwards, I went into a state of panic or shock. Still to this day, really, I think I went to counselling a couple of years ago, and one of the elements that kept coming back was that fire. And I don't know why it had such an effect on me, besides the fact that I could have died in it, I suppose. But I don't think that's all it is. I don't know what it is, but it triggers something in a part of my brain that I don't fully understand. But I'm aiming to understand. That's the point of this podcast, to talk to people and understand them and possibly understand me. So Duane Doogan is who we're interviewing today. He was the best man at my wedding last year, did an incredible job, so much to the point where one of my uncles came up to me at the wedding and said, "Great day, Luke, had a great day, yourself and Duane were fantastic." And I was like, that's a nice thing to say, except for I married Kate. I didn't marry Duane. I would have married Duane. I should have married Duane, maybe. Don't say that to Kate. Poor Kate. Kate, I know you don't watch this anyway, but no one showed this. I don't want to marry Duane anyway. We'd murder each other. But yeah, so there's nothing left to do except for go to the interview with Duane Doogan, where we discuss an awful lot of random topics, and stick around till the end because there's an incredible story about his doctor. Ready to go?
Yeah, I'm being Luke Barry.
I don't wear sunglasses.
Yeah, well, I'm making you better.
Oddly enough, for somebody who wears backwards hats a lot, I'm always worried that I look like a douchebag if I wear sunglasses. I think that ship has sailed, probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Right.
With the
leather what?
Leather wristbands.
I have a watch on. It's black. It looks like a leather wristband.
I just mean in the past. I took a shot there that you weren't wearing one.
I'd wear leather wristbands now without a problem. All right, this isn't about me. This is about you. Duane Doogan, what's wrong with ya?
I am constantly in pain for a man who has not had an active or physical life.
You're in physical pain?
Oh, all the time.
And go on, tell me about it.
Do you know when you wake up and you're like, oh, I slept funny, my neck is weird? Yeah, that hasn't gone away for about a year now. I kind of let it go for a while, being like, oh, I just slept weird, but it's like, it's now my shoulder and my neck. Every day.
So it's just sleeping weird, or is it age? Is it arthritis?
It's definitely arthritis.
Is it the weight of the world on your shoulders?
Oh, I just let that go a long time ago.
I'm just going to point out, I'm going to keep this in the recording and I'm not going to stop, but you sound like you're after inhaling loads of helium.
Oh, that's because of the... that's happened with this microphone before.
With you. That's brilliant. I'm super excited about that.
When we tested your last podcast.
What last podcast were you on?
We did a test during lockdown. I don't
That
think it ever
wasn't it.
went out.
Really?
Yeah.
I know we
And I
did
used this, and I remember I had to disconnect it. I've just remembered that now, so that's why I sound like
I
this.
remember we did a fake interview
No,
during
this fun,
lockdown.
you never did anything with it. And
Oh
this
yeah,
was
that
the very start. This was like April 2020.
oh, okay, fair enough. So yeah, this is another test. If this goes out, it's because it went well. And I'm definitely still going to put it out if Duane sounds like he's on helium because that makes it all the better when we're trying to figure out what the hell is wrong with him. So I
Do I
suppose
sound
for
better now?
yeah, definitely less funny.
My voice is high pitched enough without
Yeah,
audio
but
defects.
that's the thing. The fact that it took me like before we started recording, we were talking for about 5 or 10 minutes, and the fact that it took me that 5 or 10 minutes to realize that there was a weird sound to it is fantastic.
Okay, I'm not happy with
So
that.
for listeners, viewers, whatever way this goes out, me and Duane know each other for 20 years this year.
This year, yes.
So yeah, it would have been transition year we met. So we were 15, yeah? 14?
It was 19 and a half years.
19 and a half years. That's crazy. A lot has happened. A lot has gone on. But here's the thing, right? This podcast is about me trying to find people who have interesting jobs or are kind of, I suppose, oddball characters. Take that offensively if you want. But I always get the feeling that in our relationship, I think that you're the weird one and you think that I'm the weird one. Would that be accurate?
Uh,
You always point out my, I want to say neurotic behavior, but oddball
and erotic.
and erotic. Yes, behavior. But okay, so okay, to rephrase that, maybe you'd be more publicly seen as the odd one, but my antics behind the
Yeah,
scenes would be
I didn't ever like that.
what, that you were seen as the odd
When,
one.
when we were growing up, we were seen as like kind of a pair, and it was like, oh yeah, Dwayne's a bit weird.
I
And
marketed, I
Luke,
marketed you that way though.
Luke has it all together.
But I marketed you that way.
Yeah, I didn't have the front
Or
to
would
change
so,
it.
yeah, that'd be my view of it. Was that would be accurate? Yeah, that's
Well, I think it's that classic. It's every TV duo that they put together. There's one of the two who doesn't think either of them are idiots, and then there's one of the two who thinks the other's an idiot, but
yeah,
they're
yeah.
both idiots in every
So
sense of the word.
we were both idiots, is what you're saying.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the amount of stuff that we broke trying. I'm going to say I broke trying to film videos in your mother's house, probably my mother's house, probably many places. Things just got broken.
Well, there was the banister,
The banister, your
the
couch, I
couch.
think. Did we break the couch, or was that
We broke the couch, but not the way my mother remembers it.
okay?
She says she remembers a video where you jump on the couch and then we stop and go, oh shit, the couch broke. What are we going to do? Quick hide. And then we put it on the internet and went, no, that never happened.
Yeah, but we were idiots.
Wait, there is footage of that though. But it's not, there's no audio. It's in a video recording don't be crying, recording the cover of Vertigo. And you jump up on the couch and you start doing this.
It was
and
lip
then you
sync before lip
pause.
sync was cool as well.
Yeah, long before it was cool.
Yeah.
And you stop and go and look down and then look over at me and then kind of laugh at the camera.
So my foot just went through the couch, basically.
Yeah, but like that
Okay.
couch was very old.
So talk to us about back then, we're teenagers. You said there we're trying to create videos and stuff. What made you do that? So we know you're a comedian now, you're a graphic designer, web designer, that kind of stuff. That creativity kind of started in your teenage years. What starts you? What makes you go, I want to make something, basically?
I don't know. Just I saw a show, I think you saw it too. Joe Lycett's recent show.
Mhm.
I forget the name of it. But he uses a phrase a different comedian, Josie Long, saying if you want something to exist, you have to create it yourself.
Yeah.
And then I have that thought every single day. And sometimes I follow through and sometimes I don't. I'm like, oh, I'd love to watch that. I should make it. I'm like, well, then it won't be fun. But yeah, I think that's it. I would just think of something I wanted, and if it didn't exist, I would try it.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
I was desperate to just watch myself on the telly all the time.
I think you were. Same as
Yeah.
I definitely was. That was my driving force behind it anyway.
I wanted attention of all sorts.
Yeah, definitely. Good or bad. That's like, and often bad. But the thing you saying there about making things that you want to see and stuff, we made everything. We tried to make almost everything. We tried to make comedy things. We put together a documentary for our school play and stuff like that. It seemed to be like in excess of what teenagers would normally produce. And I suppose it makes sense that both of us would end up working in some level of that field that we ended up doing it in. But like, is there a want for acceptance or something? Is there like you, for you in particular, you were new to our school in transition year, and you straight away, me and you start making stuff. Darren comes in, Darren starts making stuff with us, our friend Darren, that is. So was there a want to be accepted in that, or to maybe, if you're not being accepted, to be accepted for being on the outside of something even? Because I know that would be my view of it.
Well, I always wanted to join in things. If I watch a football game on the telly, I get really excited to go play five-a-side a few days later.
Yeah.
I can't watch things from the outside. Weirdly enough, wrestling was like one of the biggest things we bonded over. I'd never had any interest in actually doing that. And that's what was funny was one of my favorite shows was Jackass. So I bought a camera before camera phones to film it because I wanted to be like the lads on Jackass. And then I realized most of it's hurting yourself. So then I was like, nah, not that.
Yeah.
So I want to do anything that doesn't have physical pain. Which is why it's so bad that I have physical pain all the time now.
You have it anyway. You might as well have just been Jackass and done wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm
you
also
did the bush jumping things and the falling down. I never did that stuff.
I would have been happy to be in Jackass. Because, as I said, you want for attention, whether it's positive or negative. Like, we did a bush jumping thing where, was it the bush attacker? We presented it like a news show where somebody was attacking bushes.
Yeah, and
it got reported. It got reported in a local newspaper.
What?
Yeah, it got reported in, is it Inside Cove at the time?
Why?
For people wrecking bushes in the States and stuff.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping it was like, there's a man.
And we were proud of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we made it into the media. Pew, pew. We're badass sons of guns.
I want to be myself, but I also hate who I am.
That was deep.
When you say
that was a deep. That was out of nowhere. I don't know.
I'm my biggest fan, but then you tell me things that we did, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
hate that guy.
But I'd agree with that. But I do also think that you probably wouldn't be running a comedy club in Dublin if you hadn't done all that kind of stuff. It's all.
I hate you saying that sentence as well. This is all just.
You're meant to be talking about yourself here. Like, that's the point of this interview.
But that's what I mean. I love to chat about myself. But then when the topic's about me, I'm like, this is uncomfortable.
Well, that's good. I want it to be uncomfortable. We said that before I started recording. That's why I'm standing. Make you uncomfortable.
Does your t-shirt just say creativity? I hate that more than anything.
I don't know what else it says. It's creativity. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. There you go, Duane. You can think about that, about the old stuff we used to create as teenagers.
That is like
this t-shirt costs $150 on Shein. I asked you a few questions in advance, and you for some reason sent me the answers, even though they were meant to be so that you could think about it for this show.
It was a form that I had to submit.
Yeah, I'm very professional. I'm professional broadcasting son of a bitch.
Yeah, but like, so why wouldn't I submit it?
Why would I want to know your answers? I need to chat about them.
Then why send the
You
form?
gave me very cleverly worded answers, and I was like, well, what's this? This isn't any good to me. He's not going to say this.
Well, what's the form about then if you don't want them?
The form was different. If I wanted you to answer them there and then, I'd have put them on the form. The form was
Oh, the other questions.
Yeah.
I thought you just forgotten to put those questions in.
No, that one's no. This is so I can ask you this now.
Also,
Because-
I gotta pretend that this is these are real answers.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the
very
first
good.
one I asked you was, who would play you in a film? Give me an answer for that.
Oh well, if I'm racking my brain here, what would I say? I said Rob McElhenney just because everyone always told me that I looked like him, and then for a while, it then turned into, oh yeah, Mac from Sunny's like a skinny you. It was just like, well, that change wasn't fair. And then he got fat and it's like, oh, you look just like the guy from Sun. It's like, fuck this.
You were always more of a Charlie to me. I think that's the voice.
In appearance, though, I think Fat Mac does look like me.
So Rob McElhenney's playing you. Will he get the mannerisms, the characteristics across?
Oh, he's a professional actor. I hope he can. You know, that's what we're paying him for. And if he can't, he knows where to go.
What's the story of the film? What's it about?
Me.
Yeah, but what's the actual? It's just you there playing with your dog. Is that the film?
No, it's the latest Marvel film.
All right. And you're what? The bad guy? The good guy?
No. Well, that's one of them, isn't it? The neutral hero. I guess I'd be your average superhero. Like, I've never seen a Marvel film. I don't know how to improv this.
Okay, I want to talk about this actually. This is, if we're talking about what's wrong with you, this is one of the what's wrong with you things. That why have you never seen a Marvel film? I know the answer to this, but it's talk about it.
Nothing about it interests me.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know what's in them, but I see that.
Because
I don't
it's
like
not.
things that
Because it's not. There you go. Go say it.
Yeah, it's not. It's too much fakeness. But I don't mind some that. But I'll never get fully into it.
It's a film. It's meant like. Will you not watch a film that seems not believable? You won't be able to separate yourself in that sense.
I'll watch some films that aren't set in reality, but like superheroes are just superheroes and goblins and all that stuff.
Literally a box of comic books next to me.
Yeah,
What's the difference between that and wrestling, though? You're a big wrestling fan, or stand-up, big stand-up fan. I suppose stand-up's based in reality, so I suppose that's not. But people make it up. People fake it.
just like guns that don't have actual bullets. What's that about?
You want people to.
I'm going to shoot rays and fight. Like, get a life.
So Star Wars.
I
used to watch Star Wars.
Yeah, and do you know what? I never saw any of the new ones, and I'll never watch them. Nothing against them. If you like them, fair play. But I think it would really annoy me.
Where's the line then? Where's the, like, say, wrestling? And I know that you are into the more unrealistic wrestling at times as well, the comedy stuff. Where's the line that passes into, like, where does it stop that you can't separate yourself from it anymore?
Because like the comedy wrestling's an inside joke.
Okay,
everyone's part of it.
Yeah. So even if it's unrealistic, it's just some level.
I don't know what Ant-Man is, but it sounds really dumb.
It is.
Unless he shrinks to the size of an ant.
That's what he does.
Well, that's dumb for Paul Rudd. He should have a bit more respect.
He's very good in it.
Well, he only has a little role, eh?
Hey, he also becomes Giant Man, though. Giant Man. Genuinely. So, yeah. But, so Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, that kind of stuff, you can't.
I don't mind Harry Potter.
Oh,
There's a
not allowed. Can't like that.
no, because there's muggles in Harry Potter.
Oh
And
yeah,
when
I
they see the
suppose.
magic,
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
go, "What's going on with that? That's different. That's not right." In I Loved Lost, they go, "Why is there a polar bear here? That doesn't make sense." So then they go,
Yeah,
"Well,
yeah.
at least now we can both agree that the weird stuff happening shouldn't be happening," as opposed to Ant-Man going, "He's shrunk," and going, "Yeah,
Yeah, well, the first
he
few
would."
Marvel films, it is like that, and then it
Yeah, but look
becomes
at
more
go.
normal.
I'm gonna. You gotta relax. What's going on with you? I'm getting rid of these chicken wings.
It's a good idea.
I'll just start that bit again. I'd probably say Rob McElhenney.
To cut all the Marvel stuff then.
He's
So
got nice muscles.
watch this for a what you call it link. Dwayne, you made me laugh there. Tell me about your comedy. Is that good? The broadcasting?
The duck sits on her hole and sleeps all day. And now
Sounded like
she's
you said
decided,
duck there.
yeah,
The duck.
I have a pet duck.
So comedy, Dwayne, talk to us about comedy. To take a question from your own podcast, My First Gig podcast, what's your first experience of comedy?
I had a tape deck. It had 2 songs on it, so I went through my mother's tape collection to find tapes, and I got "Jagged Little Pill," Alanis Morissette,
Great album.
Ocean Color Scenes, Mosley Shoals, and then there was an album, Classic Connolly, which was a Billy Connolly live album, and completely, I'd never like shared that with Fiona, my girlfriend, for the listeners.
Also a comedian.
A better one, and
Don't say that, Dwayne. You're a fantastic comedian.
I'm semi-retired now. I'm giving up. I'm just gonna do the Vegas showbiz cabaret nights.
That's
That sounds fun, actually.
Yeah,
She just got me for Christmas a Billy Connolly vinyl from a record shop, like the only one in the record shop.
yeah.
And I started looking at the set list on the back, and I was like, I could swear this is the tape I used to have. And
Cool.
I put it on, and it's the exact one, and hadn't listened to it in 20 years, and could still like recite it because it was just. I would go to bed with the headphones going up like around my bed. What's the things on the corner of the bed?
Posts.
Headphones going around the bedpost into the pillow, and then I'd lie on the pillow listening to it.
The rockers figures that you bought me for my wedding just fell.
Yeah, that's a metaphor
For this interview. But yeah, what Billy Connolly jokes were they, and why for you did that burn into your brain? Like, if you're still able to remember that word for word, it obviously had a massive impact. Like, is it his storytelling style? Is it something that's specifically related to you, or is it just this idea of somebody who's making people laugh for a job, basically?
Well, I'm a big football fan, and he had a joke about Celtic and Rangers rivalry and being in the stands and being he very cleverly says a guy went to the Celtic and Rangers match and sat in the wrong section. And if you listen back, he never says which team, so both fans can just apply, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys, whatever side you're on. And so it's a guy who sits in the wrong section for the Celtic Rangers match and all the stuff that happens. And so I was able to picture that and understand it, like, or relate to it. But it's like it's a classic joke trope now, but it was the fact that you didn't see the ending was like a swerve, and it was like when you thought this guy was down and out, he was actually getting his own back on the other fans. And then that was the surprise of that, and the audience reacting to that surprise. I remember just being like, that was genius. That was way better than regular stories. All stories should have a surprise and a laugh.
And is that something that when you became a comedian, you tried to emulate in any way, or had your tastes evolved to, or is there
Well, it's
anything
a
from those early Billy Connolly stuff that you'd do on stage yourself? Like not the jokes, but the
yeah,
style.
probably. Like it
Yeah.
was obviously he was very good at it, but his like the methods are common enough, so I definitely would have adopted some of those. But what it's funny that I said there that every story should have jokes in it. I notice I do that now. I mentioned playing five side earlier, and I play five side every Tuesday, and we're all very unfit people, so it's a lot of panting and quietness. Not a lot of calls for the ball, because everyone's out of breath. But I noticed that there more than anything, and I'm like, oh, this must happen other places, but it's just not as obvious. I like make a joke like every 15 seconds, and no one ever reacts. And every time I make the joke, I'm like, would you just shut up?
I don't know
And I
where I
just
was
like have
with
to.
you. It was recently enough, so it might have been my stag. And I remember I was sitting with you in a restaurant or a pub or something, and you made a
Probably a
joke
pub.
to the lads having pints, lads doing pints. Oh, but
Hey.
it was the waiter or the waitress or something. Somebody said something to you, and you made a kind of a pun or a joke back to them. And as they walked away, they didn't respond to it, and you literally put your head into your hands. You're like, "Oh, why the fuck do I do this?" You could see that it was real. That it was, it was like this impulse you can't fight. The joke
Yeah,
comes out before you even register that it's happening. Almost.
I wouldn't want to not do it, but I hate that I do it
Why do you hate to do it though?
because it's so needy. It's so obviously needy.
Are you a
I like when my
comedian because
neediness
you
is a
do
little bit
that, or do you do that because you're a comedian?
both.
Both, because yeah, I'd say you definitely always did that. Always.
Yeah.
You had this ability as a teenager to do a joke and people found it funny, to then go so far into the joke to the part that no one found it funny and everyone wanted to kill you, to the part to keep pushing it further again till people again found it funny, even if they didn't want to. And you
You
would
want
always,
someone with a baguette?
you want some of my baguette, you followed somebody around the shop just saying that to them. The grab his ass son, you like it in the cinema.
Yeah,
You want to tell
love
that
that.
story? Or do you want
I
me to
don't
tell it?
know it because I do it often. I think that there's a I get deja vu every time I go into a cinema and I think I say it.
We went to see, it was at room 42 or some horror film anyway, where it was a hotel room that was haunted or whatever. And any time that any two people were on the screen together, Dwayne would shout, "Grab his ass, son, you like it," which is
It's
a
from
line from
American
American
Pie.
Pie 2, I think.
I think it's like a truck driver
Yeah.
shouting it into a phone.
And Dwayne shouted it the first time, got a laugh.
Don't watch those films now.
American Pie, no, yeah, people have told me not to. They're
It was on Comedy Central there recently, and I chucked it on, and I'm like, oh, they're openly showing this. This is it made me ashamed of myself that I loved it so much.
comedies that I know it's well, that's how it was then, but that is how it was then. That is how comedy was then. Doesn't make it right, obviously, but
Well, I also watched Scary Movie 2 recently, and that's still beautifully done.
I think your
I
dog
shouldn't
just
say
fell
that.
off
It's
the
definitely gonna
couch.
be probably.
Scary Movie 2 was, as far as parody goes, though, was perfect. Obviously, there's
Yeah.
going to be questionable jokes and it's of a different time and all that, but
None. No, I stand by and endorse all of them.
every single one.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm going to watch Scary Movie 2 and I'm going to edit in all the offensive jokes right here. Cancel Duane Doogan, folks. So,
Yeah,
I suppose what I was getting off the Billy Connolly question earlier was Billy Connolly often told like long form stories. You
I do that.
you do
Yeah,
that. He said in an interview that I saw him before that not a lot of it is actually real. A lot of it he makes up. It's not about his real life. He doesn't go into, I suppose, his personal stuff that much. Do you do that? Like, are you a making up comedy, or are you a getting out your pain comedy kind of a thing? I suppose because there is a kind of a, I suppose not that there's two types of comedians, but those are the two opposite ends of it, I suppose.
Well, it goes back to the based in realism thing earlier. Everything I say is made up, but there's nothing in it that you could go, "Oh, that definitely didn't happen." Like everything could happen and could have happened to me.
Yeah. But so there's nothing that like
The
it's
stuff
not
about me being bad at sex is entirely made up.
we'll have to get Fiona on the podcast to find out.
I will edit in those clips here.
I asked
You
to
did
film
want
you.
to film me having sex.
I did.
Yeah.
What did they offer you? €200?
Yeah.
Why didn't you take
I'm
it?
glad I didn't accept. What, 200 quid?
Yeah, back then.
Would you be a porn star for 200 quid?
Back then, probably. We had to pay double rent because we forgot to pay rent for a while.
I had to be a porn star. Double rent. Rent was 65 quid a week.
Me and Duane lived together for 2 years, I think, in total.
Probably, yeah.
The first house we lived in burnt down.
And it had to.
It had to, or we'd still be there.
I stood on a mouse one day and killed it, and then it was like I remember just picking it up with the top of a Pringles can and just opening the kitchen door and throwing it into the kitchen, because the kitchen is where we didn't go anymore. We had a George Foreman that we would just use and the microwave, and they were closest to the door. But like, I don't think we used the kitchen sink for the last 2 months living there, because also the window wouldn't close.
Yeah, it was freezing, so we just left the door closed.
And just that's where our rubbish stayed.
Instead of saying it to the landlord, who was literally downstairs. So we were talking there about how we lived together for a while and the place burnt down, basically. And we lived in squalor, like scumbags. That apartment, a lot happened in. The fire was... I think
say that again?
I said a lot happened in that apartment, and the fire was fucking mad as a way to end it.
Yeah, I probably, if someone had to play me in a movie, I'd definitely go with Rob McElhenney. Fine answer.
Good.
Sorry, I wasn't listening to you at all there because I was like, no, say my joke.
So the fire, at the time, how did you deal with that?
Brilliantly. I loved it.
Did you?
At the time, I didn't realize what happened at all. I was like, this is sound. Okay, new apartment, bit of attention, fun story to tell.
Yeah. So okay at the time. So am I to take it over time? You didn't think it was a great thing, or is it something that affected you at all? Is it?
Well, over time, I've definitely realized it's not the best thing to do is to be in a house that is on fire. No. That's I think it affected you more. You got scared by sausages one day.
Did I?
In the new apartment.
I don't remember that. But
you said so.
But it did affect me so. But sausages are my trigger, obviously. We'll get into that in a second. But no, I was very badly affected by it. Like I'm still dealing with stuff from that, which is really weird. I know it seems odd, but this is about you, Duane, not about me. But I think one of your answers, like I sent you a little pre-interview form, and one of your answers in that was something about that one of us would have died in the fire, or both of us would have died in that fire. How easily that could have changed obviously if we were both dead, it would change everything. But if one of us had died in that fire, imagine the attention you'd get then.
That's a great point. If one of us had died, that would have changed a lot.
If both of us had died.
Future. If I died, my future would be so different. I hate the idea of, I'm terrified of dying. It feels like it's gonna happen really soon. Whether that's like no, but like let's say it happens 50 years from now.
Yeah.
That's not that far away in terms of forever.
Well, you're not going to get much longer than that, like.
I might not get that.
Yeah,
It's possible.
that shoulder
That's
injury
weird,
could
like.
kill you.
No, but like,
So does that scare you? Does
what
death,
am I?
are you
What am
afraid
I
of
gonna
death
do?
now? Like,
Like, I don't want to not have my life.
okay. So when you,
I don't
okay,
like
so,
that this is going to end one day. That's pretty mental.
well, yeah, that's part of the deal, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, but like,
So what do you think? I know as a teen and someone in your 20s, you were like an active atheist, like active. Like your atheism was a religion almost. Is is that still your view? Like, do you believe there's nothing after, or
uh,
is
I
that
just
part
think
of
there's
your
not.
fear that it just stops?
Well, it is going to stop.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything. I have no
No, neither do
faith.
I. Neither do I. I don't either. But so is part of your fear? It's not a. But for a lot of people, they're afraid that they don't know what's going to happen after they die.
No, I don't care what's going to
If
happen after.
what's
It's
there to
just
be
that I won't.
what's there to be
I
afraid of
don't.
then? If you just
Oh, because just knowing that, like, I'm going to miss out on things.
yeah, but you won't.
I will.
You'll be dead.
Yeah, and I could be alive.
Yeah, but you won't know that you're missing out.
Yeah, but it's I'd be sad that just I'll be gone.
No, you won't.
I am currently.
Oh, okay, well it's different. Have you always been? Has this always been a fear
No, I don't think so. I think it's
as you got older?
last while. Yeah,
That's mad.
I guess it's the fact that now it's like, I think somebody said, "Oh, your next milestone is 40," and it's like, "Oh, geez, I'm rushing to the finish line here."
Yeah. Yeah, I think
And it's like,
once you get to about 25, from there on out, it's just
yeah, I don't like that I'm on the way to the finishing line. I prefer, like, I don't even want to put my shoes on yet.
you're not someone who likes
in-
finishing things.
No, but in terms of, like, if once I get to the finish line, I'm done. I'd prefer if I hadn't started the race yet.
Okay.
I want to be like,
You want
I
to live
want the
forever,
race
is what you're saying.
not forever, because that'll be weird, and it's not possible. So I can't even comprehend it.
What? What are you saying then?
I don't like that I'll be dead one day.
For who?
For me,
But that doesn't make any sense.
it does. I prefer. I don't want to. I don't. I enjoy being alive.
I know, but you won't not enjoy being dead.
No, but I'm currently not enjoying that I will be dead.
That's more. Why?
Because it's
Like,
a bit weird that you'd be dead.
Is this an active worry?
Oh yeah, I'm actually, since we started talking about it, I've started to shake a little bit.
Genuinely.
Genuinely.
That's mad. See, that's
It's
something
not,
that
I don't like thinking about it.
I'd understand having a fear of dying, but not having a fear of being dead, if you get me.
Yeah.
That's mad. How do you think you'll die? What's going through your head? Like, what do you old
It's
age?
gotta be the heart, isn't it?
Is that?
Yeah. Runs in the family.
Ah, yeah.
And my lifestyle doesn't help it.
Cocaine and stuff.
No, but like, I don't eat well or exercise.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help the old heart now. The old heart is struggling at the best of times. So at the worst of times, it might just collapse.
I was in the hospital recently for a suspected heart issue, and
Me too.
I texted. They were going out twinsies, and we both have facial hair, twins.
Yeah.
So I text my biological father, who I don't have an awful lot of communication with, and I text him just saying, "Hey, doctor just asked me, is there any heart conditions in my family, and I don't know the answer. Can you give me anything?" And he was like, "Yeah, all my family die of it." I was like, thanks for that. That's helpful, I suppose.
What's funny?
Turned out my heart was fine, by the way. But So
Well, my biological father drove me to the hospital because I was visiting him at the time.
yeah, well, that's normal.
I don't call him that though.
You should from now on refer to him as your biological father. Yeah, so yeah, your heart, that's what's going to kill you. Fair enough.
It took out my granddad and my uncle.
Your heart.
Had it's strong. My uncle had one, a heart, and it tried to attack him. And yeah, I'm already. So I went to the hospital as well for back pain. And they're like, "Oh, there's this thing it could be. We should get an MRI for you." But it's very, very rare. It's a form of arthritis that develops in your 30s, but it only happens if there's like, and he said it like this as well, which was really not good. He was like, it's definitely not the case. And I was like, oh, thank God. He goes, it's so impossible that this could ever be possible. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Unless there was just like loads of arthritis in your family. Like, yeah, there is. My grandmother couldn't move. My old man has had 2 knee surgeries and waiting on more. I was like, there is loads of arthritis in my family. He's like, oh, well, it could be that then.
It's like, thanks for that. Cheers.
It's like, don't tell me it's definitely not that, and then go, oh, it might be that. I never got the MRI. Yeah, that's how good they are. I'm on a waiting list, but it's been like, that was the first lockdown, so it's been like 3 years. I probably should have had it by now.
Yeah, you probably should have. Although if you're going public with MRIs, you can be waiting. This is not interesting for anyone to listen to. But MRIs,
I haven't gone public yet, but I might do a tweet about it in the future.
You should. That was good. That was a good joke, Duane. Well done. Well done. And that's part of the comedy, guys. You can see Duane at Cherry Comedy on Mondays because Mondays are better with Cherry Comedy. Is that right?
Why'd you hate that so? Why'd you hate that?
I don't hate it. I really like it. It just
saw it in
in
your
my
face.
brain.
I saw it in your face. You were like, "Oh, there's that stupid thing he says."
No, I like it.
From a man wearing a creatively t-shirt. Come on.
Creativity. It doesn't say creatively. Come on, Duane. Fuck's sake. So, yeah, what are we talking about? Dying and fires and stuff. Dying and fires and bears. Oh my. Hey.
Guess what? I just saw a post here, and while we were disconnected for a minute, and it just said like we're doing this as like 20-year friends, right? Know each other inside out. I'm sure if you came and asked me for help, I'd say, yeah, whatever it is. And then I read this in the middle, and I'm like, I would never do this for you. And I will openly say that. And I think this is too much, but I'm just going to put it out there. Don't care. A England rugby defence coach, Kevin Sinfield, pushed his friend, his former teammate, and motor neuron disease suffering Rob Burrow around the inaugural Leeds Marathon in a wheelchair for 26 miles, and then at the finish line picked him up and carried him across the finishing line. Really lovely.
Yeah.
But I read that going, fuck that.
But it also requires a level of fitness that neither of us possess, so...
You wouldn't need the fitness, because you're going to be the guy in the wheelchair.
Oh, 100%. That's it, yeah. 100%.
Your legs are basically jelly now.
They practically don't exist.
I remember
why I chose to stand for this podcast is beyond me, really.
It's why you never stuck with stand up, wasn't it?
Hey, you sit down comedian.
Yeah, I remember when we were working together in a bar, you just like fell over.
Happened a few times.
But like I saw it happen, and I was just like, a bit dramatic.
Yeah, my leg just disconnects sometimes, basically.
Yeah, I get that checked out.
I did a few times.
Oh,
arthritis.
I was like, here's an idea.
Do you ever hear of doctors? Go to one of them. But yeah, so let's talk about. We talked about wrestling a little bit, and we mentioned graphic design and websites and stuff. Your design work is something that I suppose, yeah, your design work is why we're friends. Because you designed the logo that I liked for a wrestler, and everyone else was going to run away from you. Don't want to bring it up, but everyone else was going to run away from you, and I stuck with you, not because I'm a nice guy or anything, but because I
Mhm.
wanted you to send me on this logo that you made on a Nokia fucking 3410 or whatever it was.
It was a pale green Nokia. It wasn't one of the popular ones, but it had the photo editor.
Yeah.
I think it was my mother's phone actually. I don't think mine had it, but you
The
could make the picture
HBK
messages.
logos. Yeah.
Yeah, his weird Jesus logo, wasn't it?
I don't think so. I think it was the actual box one with the HBK.
Oh yeah, hunt to kill, brother.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But yeah, I think it was that one, and I wanted that. And everybody else is going to run away from me. I don't know why they planned this. I'm not sure what the end result of it was. To hurt your feelings, I
Yeah,
presume.
because it's funny. Let's just be
Yeah,
honest.
but would that have been funny?
Yeah, if
I
you
don't
were all
know.
down the end of it was like a mall in Killarney. If you were
Yeah,
all
it
down
was.
the end and I came out of a shop and was like, "Where is everybody?" I would be like, "Look at that fucking idiot. It's mean and it's horrible and it's bullying. We won't get into that." And but like
That
at
was
that
the
time,
same day that
it's
you named
hilarious.
everyone who died in the Oma bombing and asked me how were the old dolls. So I'm not sure. You didn't deserve it.
I think I think that's a very good description of me today.
How were the old dolls?
And I also did recite everyone who died in the Yoma
Uh,
bombing. Shouldn't be
uh,
joking about
that you can recite them.
that. Yeah, I don't know if I can anymore, but I used to be able to.
It's from a U2 song, wasn't it?
Bono says it at his show.
Yeah.
But here's the thing as well. That show wasn't released on DVD until 2000 and the October 2003.
Okay.
Oh, that would have been around then, so maybe it was. Never mind.
Yeah, so you would have just literally would have just came out. So you were okay, you
Yeah.
started into school in September.
Yeah.
You would have went on our first trip, yeah, probably around October. So probably
Mm.
yeah. Was that 2003? Jesus, that's crazy, all right. Yeah. And then will we talk about the rumor? So I want to
I
know
guess.
how this feeds into you as a person now in the what's wrong with you view of this show. There was a rumor that Duane killed a baby. Duane, how did you kill this baby according to this rumor?
With a sausage.
Why are sausages coming up so much in this? So how did these people? Was there ever any more info given on this?
I remember somebody like later on retrospectively being like kind of like they didn't ever try and make sense of it, but it wasn't like nonsensical either.
It's the worst rumor I've ever heard. Did you hear
But
about
I think it
Duane
was like
Doogan? He killed a baby with a sausage,
I guess it's just, I guess it was
and
like
so they expelled him from his last school. Why is there a
because that
baby in
was
the school? Why did he
yeah.
only get expelled for this? And how did he kill something with a sausage? It's
But
so
I
much.
remember somebody sitting there going, I never thought about it, but I guess God, if I had to think about it, maybe it was like frozen and they loaded them in the bag. Is what somebody actually said. Yeah,
You've beat a baby to death with a frozen sausage.
with a bag of frozen sausages.
Well, to
That's
be fair, Rochestown College would expel you for that.
I would watch that horror film.
The sausage killer.
Doesn't have to be a baby, but if like somebody came around with a load of frozen sausages and bludgeoned someone with them, and then
That'd be
went home
violent.
and ate, they went home and ate them because obviously
The sausages or the
you went
person?
the sausages. Let's not get ridiculous. But like you've only got like a 25-minute window.
Oh yeah, because they're frozen. Yeah.
Mm. I would like to see like if it was a quick transition and it went from like frozen straight into like floppy sausages. It was
Film
like,
would have
oh,
film would
oh
have to be
no,
called Bangers and Smash.
oh
That's what it have to be.
shit. When you said the film would have to be called, instantly went, well, I'm gonna have to better this title, and I can't do that.
No, you have better that. Bangers and Smash is what it's going to be called.
That sounds like a comedy though.
Yeah, well, are you telling me that would be a serious film? The man who goes and beats people with frozen sausages and then eats the sausages is a
Till
serious film.
till Denny's does us part.
Yeah, that's all right.
It's a little more sinister.
It is a little bit more, yeah. So Denny's are sponsoring this film then, are they?
Galti.
Oh, they wouldn't want it. They wouldn't want Galti. There's probably something with Galti you could do. Think about it. If you're watching or listening, send us in your sausage related bad film puns. So yeah, that rumor led to, I
The
suppose,
girl who started that rumor does my mother's nails or hair or something.
well, you
now.
thought it was me for
And-
years.
Not for years. It came out pretty quick who it was. But yes, your behavior and personality perfectly matched the crime.
I have to say, it's the kind of joke I'd make.
Yeah,
Duane
but no
killed
one ever laughed about it.
That's the thing that's most weird.
Yeah.
That people were like, he did
That
what?
says more about Cove than me.
They chose to believe it, I think. Like, surely no one believed it.
I remember people being like, stay away from him.
And why did it happen? I remember you telling me this. Where did the rumor evolve from? Because you
This
told
I
me a
don't know.
story about this. That there was one of the girls brought a picture of Justin Timberlake.
No memory
I think
of
it
this.
was, and stuck it up on the wall. And they said, oh, thank God I brought this. And you said, the only way you'll get an enjoyment out of that is if you stick a sausage to it.
Wow.
And that's where the rumor jumped from.
That was me flirting.
Probably.
Yeah.
We're like, all
So,
right, old dolls. The only way you're
You
going to
got-
get that.
you want to stick up some jumbos on that bad boy?
Yeah. So that's what happened. That was the, like,
Battered sausage.
battered sausage. That's it. That's it. Excellent.
Sorry, I got very excited
But,
and a little hungry.
is there for me as a jump off point to your personality, and I didn't know you that long, that's it. That's a
What,
moment
the sausage? The rumor?
yeah. So that's a rumor where you're this new guy that people were like, oh, he has a funny voice. That's Duane. He's odd. That's for me, knowing you, that's the jump off. Do you see it that way, or is it before that, or is it after that, or were you even aware of that at the time?
I think my
More so that you accepted that was where, not that you became an oddball as a result of that, but that you accepted that you were outside the cool people, I suppose, in the school.
I think it was in primary school, in 5th class.
First
My
day.
my penultimate year in primary school, and I think I did. I don't know if I did well on my exams or something, but then I just noticed that I was with people who did really bad, and I was like, it doesn't matter if we do good or not. So then I just kind of went, I'm going to stop caring so much about doing this and have a bit of crack.
Oh yeah, that's a good moment.
And that's, yeah. So then just out of nowhere, then it would be like notes home from, because I'd make my stupid jokes at the time when teachers are like, stop talking. And yeah, that's why I started getting in trouble in school a bit, but like harmless trouble.
My view of you is this, and I think this is my core memory of you, and what I think, if I have to think of your personality, and I don't know if you see yourself this way, but this is how I see you. It's, we were in home ec, and everybody was asked to change the position of their desks to face a projector. And you realized that you were right in everyone's field of vision, so you didn't turn your desk. So everyone was facing the side of you. And you stayed facing the opposite direction for the entire class, chewing your pen.
I know this now, yeah.
And everyone was like, what's Duane doing? What's he doing? Oh my God, he's so weird. Oh God. And kind of laughing at it and whatever. And you were acting as if you weren't aware of it, kind of, but you were obviously doing it as a joke. And then you bit too hard into your pen and the ink exploded all over your mouth and covered you in it, which made the joke way better. But I'm guessing wasn't your intention.
No. But that matches, that's like, yeah. I'm the butt of all my jokes on stage, so I guess that worked for that.
Is that how you see yourself though? As in that really, I suppose if you're talking about stand-up, to use Jerry Seinfeld's definition, you're the one person facing the wrong direction in a room. That's literally what you were doing in that class. You facing the opposite direction to everyone else.
Well, I think it's a thing as well. It's like if I try and be too funny or cool or whatever, something has to pull me back a little bit.
Literally blows up in your face.
Yeah. Well, if I had to pick a story that I think so, I always say that this sums up my personality. I was young. It was in January 1994. What age would I have been? Almost 6. And I was at a football game, which is why I know the date. I was at a football game with my dad, and he bought me a Coke, and it came in a little styrofoam cup. And sat there with my Coke, and I noticed like it was a bit flimsy, the cup. Like styrofoam, it's not
Yeah.
it's not that sturdy. And I just noticed if I poked my finger into it, it would kind of bounce a little bit. I was like, and this is my honest thought that I had at the time that I remember so clearly. I stuck my finger underneath the cup and pushed through it because I wanted this. I said, if I push through this, where does my finger go? Basically, it went through the cup, and then all the Coke just poured onto my lap.
Good. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's so that's who you are. That's
the second my finger went through, I went, oh, of course.
Yeah.
I should have thought that this was a possibility.
Same with biting a pen for too long. You should assume it's going to blow up in your face.
Give me pens.
I don't use them anymore. I do. I work in an office. I use them every day.
I used to work in an office. I've never touched a pen in my life.
Yeah, but you're literally a graphic designer.
When the delivery man asked me to sign things, I'm like, I could write anything. I don't think I've written my name properly. There's a comedy club here that gets you to sign the wall when you perform there, and I misspelt my name.
You used to practice your signature, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I'm one of those guys.
In case you became famous, or is it a graphic design thing?
I love the there's the rhythm of a signature really pleases me.
As in when
like the physical,
yeah.
It's like it's a swift motion that I always wanted to be able to do quickly.
Yeah. Is that why you practice it?
Yeah, so that I could do it.
Your handwriting, you sold your handwriting, is that true?
Yeah, and I was just in the States last week, and I think it's just been removed. It was put on Pop-Tart boxes, and I couldn't find any there.
How does that come about? How do you sell your handwriting?
This woman was annoying me for ages, and I thought she was mental. And then she was like, "Hey, I want to buy your handwriting." And I'm like, "You go away from me, don't." And I like. But then she messaged me on Facebook, and I was like, "You need to stop. This is weird." Like,
where did you see your handwriting?
I probably did like I probably like digitalized it at some point.
Yeah.
And then she got in touch with me on LinkedIn, and only went on LinkedIn, and she was saying it was for Kellogg's, and I was like, "This makes no sense." And only when she messaged me on LinkedIn that I saw that Kellogg's was her place of work.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, this must be serious." Because I remember it was about 9 months between her first message and then me finally responding.
In terms of copyright, how does that work? Like, can they own your handwriting, or do they lease it, or what way is that?
I don't know. I signed a very long contract that I never read.
There you go. Give me money. Thanks. Bye.
Yep. I said to my dad, I was like, "Hey, how much should I sell this for?" And he goes, "Well, what would you like?" And I was like, "I'd like a new computer." He said, "How much would that cost?" And I said, $3,500. And he was like, "Well, ask for 5, and then you can haggle them down to 3.5."
Yeah.
And then they said, "How much do you want?" And I said, 5. And I went, "Yep." And I was like, "Oh, they're $1 billion company.
You could have got 10
$5,000 is nothing." And especially because they had waited 9 months for it. Yes, they weren't going to move on to the second choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So
Worst businesses.
in terms of design work, you've done a lot of stuff with people you are a fan of.
Yeah,
Give us a
that's
list.
deliberate.
Give us why? Because you don't want to do it for other people.
No, it's that like when I said earlier about I want to get involved. When I see things, I want to get involved. But when I see people do things that I admire, I really want to be their friend.
Okay. So it's to become friends. So you make this design stuff for them to become friends with them.
Yeah, but like you're at best friendly, but it's just a little bit more familiar than you would be normally.
Yeah. So give us a rundown of, let's say, famous people or people you idolize or like, or in any way that you've designed for.
Wrestlers.
Loads of wrestlers.
Yeah. Loads of wrestlers. Robbie Fowler.
See, that's a big one. That's one, like, wrestlers to me and you is big, and to a lot of wrestling fans, so I suppose possibly a lot of my listeners would be wrestling fans. But Robbie Fowler's one that my dad would be interested in, or like, you know what I mean? Anyone would.
Well, Robbie Fowler is who I said I wanted to be when I grew up when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And
is he your biggest accomplishment?
Personally?
Yeah. Professionally?
No.
But who professionally then?
Probably the Kellogg's one.
Well, yeah, that's a massive company.
Yeah.
And you managed to do it with
decisions.
Absolutely no effort.
Yeah.
That's the perfect kind of
job. What else? I did a thing. See, a lot of them are like.
You did a lot of fan forum stuff when we were growing up too, didn't you? Like, do you still own some of them or design for some of those kind of things?
Not really. Not really, but like
you did a Stereophonics one, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a Stereophonics fan site when I was a kid, and when
that still exists, so yeah.
There's a Facebook group that people post in, but as a website and stuff, I don't keep it up. But what was cool is like their website went down for a couple of months while they were rebranding or doing something, and for like 6 months, if you went to stereophonics.com, it said our website's under construction, but check out this guy's website. So I always thought that was a nice stamp of approval. And like, it's just so I could go to Stereophonics gigs for free and get to sit backstage and drink their beer.
Yeah, a lot of your work seems to get to you getting stuff for free.
Yeah.
That's handy. It's worked out for me a few times over the years in terms of wrestling stuff and that.
Yeah. I still haven't paid for a WWE show in a long time. But all my guys are getting fired, so I won't go to them anymore. I guess I kind of, it takes a lot of time, so I just do things that interest me or for people that interest me, and that's like my hobby kind of a thing then.
Yeah.
If we can make some money, that's sound, but it's more that I do a lot of this stuff for work, and then that becomes all.
It must be cool for you as a wrestling fan. I know you have a collection of wrestling figures that is the gear that you design, because it's not just graphic work. Like, you literally have designed logos for people's gear and what kind of stuff they should wear and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't do the actual gear, but
yeah, I love it and hate it because a wrestling company put out a poster. I had 4 guys on it, and one of them was a guy I designed for, and had like a full body shot of him with the gear, and it was officially licensed merchandise. I don't like the poster, but I'm a hoarder and collector, so I had to buy it, and it cost $65, $25 shipping, and then I had to pay like 30 quid import charges
for your own designs, basically.
Yeah, and it looks fun. Dreadful, and it's never going on a wall.
Yeah, you're kind of a perfectionist and a completist in a lot of ways, aren't you, and those things?
Yeah, I just realized that the picture of my dog from the Foster's website that we got her from no longer exists, and that's the earliest known photo of her.
Is that killing you?
And I spent about 2 hours looking at internet archives trying to find it yesterday, and I wasn't able to. and it's gonna bother me forever.
Surely, if you send them an email, they'll be able to find out.
Maybe, but I don't like. I do all these things at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I never communicate with people.
So we talked about your design work. In terms of comedy, what's your biggest accomplishment in your mind? Not necessarily what other people would perceive as, but what do you think? What are you most proud of?
I guess the coolest thing, maybe not the biggest achievement, but the coolest thing was playing at Vicar Street.
Yeah.
Because I grew up, every Irish comedy DVD was filmed at Vicar Street in the noughties. Well, not everyone, but most of them. That was the constant one. So I remember I had a dream for so long, and like when it happened, before it ever performed, I thought this is the coolest thing, was just to see a comedy show there. Yeah. And I remember sitting up on the balcony for the first time I went to a show there, and I was like, this is insane. I cannot believe I'm watching comedy in this venue. So then to walk onto the stage, and like there's like a lot of people get to do support slots there, and that's obviously very cool. But like, because it was coming out of the pandemic, there was these unique shows, and my name was on the poster, on the ticket. Didn't get a dressing room, even though they had 4 of them. My dressing room was the communal couch.
So the next aim is the dressing room.
I don't know. See, I said something that I was proud of, so then I had to bring it down. Is that real enough for you?
That's very real. I like that, because this feeds into the show. So I have 2 questions left. One of them, what song do you want at your funeral?
Don't want a funeral.
Okay, so what song do you want to represent you when you die?
Represent me.
Well, your dad told us once you were conceived to with or without you, so you might as well go out with that as well.
Let's not play that one.
That's how you're conceived.
We'll stick with you two. They've been the soundtrack of my life so far, so might as well be the end credits.
So what song? Does it matter?
Not the one they did with Mary J. Blige. You can burn that with me.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else?
Anything else?
Dealer's choice. Okay. And final question, Duane. After all this talk, what's wrong with you? Any clearer?
I need to get my foreskin checked out.
Okay. We don't have much time to go into this, but are you just going to leave it at that? No explanation?
I think we mentioned doctor's visits. I think somebody should take a look at it.
Just anyone?
Just for the crack.
Okay, guys. If you want to have a look at Duane's foreskin, drop him a message at Duane Doogan on Twitter.
Do you know when I'm interrupting your flow, but you know when you like when there's like a dog or a child or something and you go boop on the nose? Doctor did that to my penis once.
Good.
And this is when he checked my penis after giving me medicine.
And he booped you on the penis.
He went, this is what you need. Here you go. This is your prescription. See you later. Actually, even though I know what you need, let's take a look at your penis.
It's good.
He'd already prescribed the medicine without looking at it.
I can tell from through the pants what's wrong with you. But sure, give us a look anyway.
Yeah, and then we spoke about Cove while he was holding it. And
did he make Titanic and going down jokes and that kind of thing?
I just for some reason I pictured the BMC.
What?
That's what came to my mind right now.
Big massive cock.
Wow. And nope. And Barry Manilow cock. If you know, you know.
Copacabana.
And he goes, oh, yeah, all's good there. And he kind of pulled up my pants a little bit to my waist. And I went, all good. He didn't make the noise. I should stress that. He didn't make the noise. All good.
How would you react to that?
I never went to that doctor again.
That's fair enough.
I moved shortly after, but I had decided I'm not going to him again.
Yeah, that's
This
perfect.
is my first time meeting this guy as well. It had never been before.
Well, even if it's not, that's still weird.
No, but it's like, oh, if there's a familiarity, you'd go, I know him personally, so I can make a judgment on what he's doing or what his intentions are.
Well, he was just tapping your penis. He's a penis tapper.
But like, it was very much, that's done. It was a full stop.
That's class.
Yeah.
It's like when old people lick their fingers to change a paper.
It's nothing like that at all.
It is just tap the
Nothing.
penis, move on.
It's nothing like that. Oh my God.
A lot of he licked his fingers and did it.
A man just cycled by with a dog on his head.
That's a good place to end this. Duane Doogan, thank you very much for being on the podcast. I don't know what I can put out for this, but let's see what happens. Bye.
I'm going to go eat my wings.
Good luck.
Goodbye.
So there you have it, folks. My interview with Duane. I think it's an incredible first one for me to do. I was relaxed doing it, which is what I need to get used to doing this format. I loved it. If there's anything you'd like to see me talk about on this, hit me up. You can contact me at the Big LB on Twitter and Instagram. On TikTok, whatever, just send me a message. If there's anybody you'd like to see me interview as well, hit me up, let me know. Comment on YouTube if you're on that. Follow me on Spotify, follow me or subscribe on Apple Podcasts, anything, and just let me know who you want to hear me interview, because I'm happy to interview anybody as long as they have an interesting story, or if they want to get something from out here into the world. Tell them to hit me up. I'm always happy to chat to anybody, and I think we can have a bit of a good time on this, have a bit of fun, enjoy ourselves, and talk to the public people. I love this shit. Thank you so much to everybody who listened to my first newly formatted podcast last week. I'm having a blast with it. I'm going to be here every Friday talking shit, and then I'll have an interview on the first Monday of every month. My name is Luke Barry. This has been What's Wrong With Ya. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Luke out.